Here's a good one. Super chat from Ryan
Okay.
Furucker. Thank you, Ryan. He says, "Is it worth it trying to bring back friends or family who have gone woke? I don't know where to start, and if it's even worth the headache." Yes, we've had this question before. So the people I've talked to, and I'm thinking of one guy in particular who I've mentioned, because I asked this question on Twitter once. I had some responses from folks, and this guy wrote me privately. He's pretty young. He became woke. He was indoctrinated in college like I was. He became woke in his 20s, and he proceeded to call his father. He damaged his relationship with his father, and he called him all kinds of names and wouldn't listen to him and that kind of thing. And he came to believe all the things that they tell you to believe. That you're part of the white male cis patriarchy and all that stuff. And he said that the key for him was that his dad continued to love him during all of those woke years, and he would disagree with him and push back. But he also he never made him feel like he couldn't be in his life. He was always open. It was basically the son rejecting him, but he was there, and he would push back, but he wouldn't, almost like not tying too much emotion to the, well, if you don't agree with me, you don't see what I'm trying to show you, then that's very bad. He didn't attach any kind of judgment to it. And so the son started to see, because that's the act of love. I think that's acting. Love is a behavior. That's acting in a loving way. And so that's hard to argue with, because I think people's minds, as we talked about before, people's minds are changed with emotion, not with facts. Usually, it's great to have both. I think the left wokeism, it leans just on emotion. It doesn't have the facts. It's just playing to people's emotional mind. But if you can learn to play to people's emotional mind and have the facts to back up what you're saying, but keep that emotional channel open, that's how you change minds. It's hard to argue with knowing the fact of knowing that my father still loves me, right? Even though I've called him awful things and told him he's evil and all this stuff, like, it's hard to argue with that. And he realized that one day, and he said that was a big part of him waking up, was the way that his father treated him was loving. So I wouldn't focus so much on turning everything into a heated debate with them. You can do gentle pushbacks, but really let them talk and show them you're open and to listening to what they have to say. And one thing we've talked about before is, let's say they want you to watch something, or read something, like they want you to read White Fragility. Read it, and then but tell them, I'm willing to read that, and if you'll read this book, then you can have a book that you want them to read. Maybe Helen Plucker's and James Lindsay's new book, Cynical Theories, maybe Douglas Murray's The Madness of Crowds, but do a one for one, right? Or hey, watch this documentary with me, Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom is a great documentary because it tells a great story. It speaks to the emotional mind, and it's got the facts to back it up. But the story is moving. I cried watching that documentary. So show them that you're open and willing to read something they want you to read, or watch something they want you to watch, and then ask that they reciprocate and do the same. And I think actually the people in your life, this question is a really important question, because you're talking about friends and family who are woke. People who you already have a relationship with, a loving relationship with, are the ones that you have the greatest hope of reaching, because that love, that emotional connection is already there. You can go start a podcast like we did and try to talk about this and help people see what this ideology is and inoculate them against it, or even try and help pull people out of it, but they don't have a personal connection to you. So they're less likely to listen or to care. It's some of the most important conversations are not the ones on podcasts like this. They're the ones you're having with people in your life who you know and love. So yes, I think it's worth it. Just don't expect it to happen overnight, and don't make it contentious and heated where they feel judged by you. Is that a good
Yeah.
answer?
I don't know. I think it was a
Sorry, I
great
told you
answer.
that.
The only caveat I would say, and this is just maybe my personality is slightly different, but it depends on the friends and the family. Like, if my daughter went woke, I would absolutely do everything that Carrie just said. Like, yes. If it was a friend from college, I don't know. Depends how close it is. It depends how much it's worth it to me.
I agree.
So like there's certainly people that like I'm just willing to let go. And if they come back at some point, that's fine. It's a good time to reevaluate, especially with friends, why they're your friends in the first place. Because a lot of times you have happenstance friends who are there because
Yeah.
you happen to be at the same job or you happen to be in the same class at school or whatever it is, and actually they don't really have a lot of shared values with you, and so it might be okay that they're maybe that friendship isn't worth it. Maybe you can make room in your life for a better friendship, but for
Yeah,
certain
that's absolutely.
relationships, absolutely, yeah. Like the father-child relationship, totally, totally. That's not a relationship worth letting go from either side, frankly.
Yeah, I
So
completely agree. There are going to be woke friends who I let go of woke friends, or I let them let go of me. I'll put it that way. I hope they know I'm here and I'm open. If they have a change of heart down the road, they know they can come talk to me, but I let them walk away. I didn't try and stop them. It's like, if you want to call me all these names, some of them publicly, and um and walk away, please go right ahead. That's okay. And what that did was open up space for me to make better friendships with new people that are built on something other than shared ideology.
right, right,
I mean, we have shared foundational beliefs,
right.
but we're not ideologues. Like, I can be friends with Carter even though we have radically different beliefs about God or religion, but we have shared principles.
Yeah, I mean it's not even a shared ideology. It's a shared membership in a cult. I mean that's what the left is doing right now. It's shared cult membership,
Yeah.
right? Because in the '80s, for example, you could be friends with Democrats if you were Republican, and vice versa. There wasn't this like horrible cultish thing, but now there's this weird cult on this woke cult on the left, and uh, that's what's preventing kind of normal interaction. Is the cult like nature of it? So and
Yeah.
being in a cult together is not a good reason to be friends with someone. In fact, it's a good reason to get out of the cult. Okay,